because they have to hear all the pastimes in Vrindavan also. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Sankirtan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Mayapur Dham ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki, Shri Kartik Maas ki. Hare Krishna. We'll offer prayers. Om Ajnanathmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshush Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshutarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So Gautam Prabhu told me to speak about the glories of Kartik month, Kartik Maas. And this time also, we actually have made an arrangement. We actually have decided for the yatra in Kartik Maas to go to Vrindavan. So by this decision itself, many of our devotees are contemplating on Vrindavan Dham. And Kartik Maas is all about Vrindavan Dham. It's all about Krishna's abode, Krishna's eternal abode. So the month of Kartik is so special. Of course, many of you must be thinking, many of you who are new must be thinking that, Arey Baba, these devotees do anything comes up, they will say this is very auspicious day, this is a very auspicious month, this very auspicious week, very auspicious time, because that is how Krishna consciousness is. Every day is auspicious. And it becomes more and more auspicious, more and more auspicious, more and more special when we live the human form of life in knowledge about Krishna. Because in ignorance, and when we don't have knowledge about Krishna consciousness, we don't understand what is auspicious and what is inauspicious. It all depends upon our individual state of mind and individual situations in regard to financial situation, in regard to the relationship situation. It's all in connection with the body. Everything in our life depends upon how we are mentally and physically. But in spiritual life, because we are in knowledge about the absolute truth, Krishna, knowledge about ourselves and eternal service of Krishna as a living entity, as the soul, we have this knowledge. And then we have the knowledge that Jivera Swarup Hoye, Krishnera Nityadas, which means the Swarupa, the constitutional position of a Jiva, of a soul, is to be the servant of the Supreme Lord. So we know about ourselves, we know about the Supreme Lord, we know about our relationship, that is to serve the Supreme Lord. So this is called knowledge. This is the real knowledge, actually. Without this knowledge, every general knowledge is useless, actually. Useless in the sense that it cannot give us the real value. It cannot give us real happiness. It cannot give us the real direction, So that is why being aware of this this auspicious moments, auspicious days is very special. It's in itself a very big benediction for the human life. And what to speak about Kartik month, because many of us become very, all of us actually, all of us have become very fixed in our Krishna consciousness by visiting Vrindavan Dham. It is very, very special. It is very, it is actually just like, there's an explanation that there is a law rule actually. Any consulate, like US Embassy, it may be in Mumbai or it may be in Kolkata. It is said the laws within the embassy, the rules within the embassy is actually of the United States. If you are aware of this, within the embassies of that state. In a similar way, Sri Vrindavan Dham is actually here, appears to be in the material world, but it's not a part of the material world. Actually, there are many pastimes of the manifestation of the Dham, but one of the pastimes is that, when Krishna decides to appear, so he invites Srimati Radharani also, that you also should manifest with me when I'm going to the earth, perform my beautiful pastimes. So Srimati Radharani tells that, what am I going to do there with you when there is no Vrindavan? There is no Golok Vrindavan. So Krishna tells that, no, when I mean to say that we'll take the Vrindavan Dham with us. So this Vrindavan Dham, which is very famous for the Kartik Mass, is not a part of this material world. It's not a part of the material creation, actually. It's part of the spiritual abode. It is actually Golok original. The Dham itself manifested here, to give Krishna pleasure, give Srimati Radharani pleasure. Live this beautiful pastimes for all of us to contemplate, to make our life perfect, to purify our soul, to give happiness to our soul, to feel satisfied in our heart. That is what Vrindavan Dham gives actually. And of course, this manifestation which of experience of Vrindavan Dham, it happens only if you go in association of the devotees to Vrindavan Dham. If you go in association of devotees to Vrindavan Dham, that happens. And by the mercy and by the blessings of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Prabhupada, the Kartik Mass has become like a big festival. In fact, Prabhupada's mercy is so amazing. It's unimaginable, inconceivable actually for us. The only thing what I can tell all of you to understand about it is that look at our own life. Those devotees who are coming for our programs regularly, who spend a considerable time, like 1 or 2 years in association of devotees, can actually experience the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Vaishnavas like Srila Prabhupada, when they give mercy, Krishna is bound to be overly merciful to all the living entities who come in contact with such a pure Vaishnava. So let me give you one example because it's about Vrindavan. How Prabhupada transformed even Vrindavan from the spiritual point of view. And especially Prabhupada's temple, Sri Krishna Balaram Mandir, ISKCON Vrindavan, which is famous for the Kartik. It is said that even in Vrindavan, as it is Kali Yuga, so many of the acharyas, deities, they are there in Vrindavan, and many very special samadhis are there in Vrindavan, like deities of Narottam Das Thakur and Radha Gokulananda, of course replica of Radha Damodar, Radha Madan Mohan, and Radha Damodar temple. These are all very special. So, as we are in Kali Yuga, always the nature of Kali Yuga is declination. Everything goes down, everything deteriorates. Only one who's in connection with devotees, who's connected with the holy name, they will always look fresh. So the worship standards in Vrindavan had gone down in the early, of course, when it happened, we don't have any record, but early days devotees who joined in the 70s ISKCON, they mentioned that a lot of crowd which would come from North India and different part of India to Vrindavan Dham, they would go to Banke Bihari temple and they would take darshan of all other local 7 temples, and they would come back to take darshan of Krishna Balram temple also when it opened. And our ISKCON temple was more known as Videshi Mandir in those days, Angrez Mandir or Videshi Mandir, because there were no many Indians joined at that time in the 70s. But the pilgrims were shocked to see the standards of the deity worship in Krishna Balram Mandir. They were so surprised that these Western devotees are doing such high standard worship, deity worship, so beautiful garland, so beautiful, shingar, dress, painting the eyes of the deities, putting the helmet, putting the turban. I mean, if you can just contemplate Krishna Balram Mandir and Darshan Arti, you can imagine what it is. So this actually surprised everyone. A big crowd which used to go in the interior of Vrindavan started diverting to Krishna Balram Mandir. And the reason was the beautiful Shingar of Krishna Balram Mandir. And all the Goswamis of Vrindavan, they realized that if we don't increase the standards of our deity worship, then there's a great chance that these people who are coming to our temple, they will just go to Krishna Balram Mandir and move out of Vrindavan. Because of this fear, there's many of the Goswami temples, pujaris, they actually started doing deity worship every day. Otherwise, they would just change the dress once in a week, once in 4 days, 3 days. If it's winter, once in a month, plastic flowers, no flowers. So Srila Prabhupada's mercy, you can imagine. When I heard this as a new Bhakta, actually I heard this when I was doing my Bhakti Shastri course. So there was one question, what Srila Prabhupada gave. So one very nice devotee was so expert, he narrated this, that Prabhupada gave Krishna's Vrindavan abode the standard of deity worship, which by Srila Prabhupada's standard, all other Goswami temples were forced to increase their standards. So this is just one way I just was trying to share about the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. In this month of Kartik, in the coming month, I think tomorrow is Sharad Purnima. Sharad Purnima is so special. Actually, these are all very Krishna's Dham, Krishna's abode, and Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani. She is, Krishna's, as I said, that this abode is not just a railway station or a destination in the earth. It's spiritual abode. Similarly, Srimati Radharani, because we say Kartik month also is significant. Damodar Mass is also significant. So this Kartik month is also one of the names actually. Kartika is one of the names of Srimati Radharani. And of course, I feel very insignificant to glorify this because Srimati Radharani, in the conditioned state means when we think that I'm this body and I have to really take care of my worldly duties and then I can perform devotion and I can perfect all this state of minds, different material situation, financial, emotional, social, all these situations, it is very difficult, but when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, it becomes very easy to even understand the position of Srimati Radharani in the line of Gaudiya line, the line of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Srimati Radharani, who is actually Vrindavane, who is actually Vrindavaneshwari, who actually is the queen of Vrindavan, she actually is not a normal girl. That's very important to know that she's not a girl. She's not a she's a she's not a female like we know in this material world, you know. She is actually Krishna's pleasure-giving potency. Pleasure-giving potency, these are actually material sentences, you know. Srila Gaura Govinda Maharaj very beautifully explains in his class that uh, the form which gives pleasure to Krishna manifests from Krishna himself. That form which gives pleasure to Krishna, that is called Radha. That form is called Radha. We call it Srimati Radharani, which gives pleasure. So Krishna's pleasure-giving potency. So there are so many beautiful. We have to understand that the abode, the Lord, his position, our position, Jivera Swarupa and Nitya Krishna Das, and then we can understand. Like we start with Sharat Purnima. You know, we start with Sharat Purnima. Now, as soon as we start about Sharat Purnima, Rasa Leela, all that, everyone thinks about those, you know, all of us, for our understanding, Rasa Leela means, you know, we grew up with a dandiya, 2 sticks in a hand, you know, we dance and we, you know, roll around. Boy is there, girl is there, so many Radhas and so many Krishnas, and they see that photo of Rasa Leela, and everyone thinks that I am also Rasaraj. Krishna as Rasaraj, you know. But Krishna's, the monopoly of that enjoyment is Krishna's monopoly. And we can only be enjoyed. And by hearing about that enjoyment of Krishna, we get pleasure. That is devotional approach. So Sharat Purnima is the night when Krishna actually has Rasa Leela with the gopis. A very deep subject. And that's why we also are restricted at least to 5 to 10 years to read about it, in fact. Because for us, our mind is so contaminated with the Bollywood songs that we immediately see Radha and Krishna like a boyfriend and girlfriend. Social families, and today social functions are also like that. So Srila Prabhupada trained us in the Gaudiya line that all the temples in ISKCON, they will actually keep sweet rice, because after the Rasa Leela, Radha and Krishna and all the gopis, they actually eat sweet rice. So if you see all the temples, tomorrow night, they will actually, Purnima, on the top of the roof, they will keep a condensed milk sweet rice, and they will cover it with a net, and they do kirtan, leave it there for the whole night. And next day, all these temples, they serve that sweet rice, that kheer, to all the devotees, and that's how we celebrate the beginning of Kartik. Remembering that Krishna's enjoyed his Rasa Leela, and this Mahaprasad is left for all of us, and then we take that Mahaprasad. In a similar line, there is this beautiful, because according to the nectar of devotion, the most highest place, if you have read nectar of devotion, Upadesh Amrita, nectar of instruction book. If you read that book, in the last few verses, Srila Rupa Goswami, he mentions that he keeps on describing that how Mathura is the very, very special place. More than Mathura is Vrindavan Dham. More than Vrindavan Dham is Govardhan, because Govardhan is a place, I will tell about Govardhan, is a place where Lord performs his beautiful pastimes eternally. And more than Govardhan is Radhakund. And then it is mentioned, Radhakund is the most auspicious place in the whole creation. Now there is a very beautiful pastime about how Radhakund manifested. If you go to Vrindavan, actually, I remember in 2003, I was doing Brajamandal Parikrama. So while doing Brajamandal Parikrama, in the Govardhan Parikrama, we were in Govardhan Parikrama, so I missed the route and I reached Radhakund. But I was not able to reach the Kund exactly. So I asked the local Brajvasis. So I asked that Radhakund kidhar hai? So one devotee told me, one Brajvasi, local Brajvasi, told me, you go straight, take a right, take a left, And when you take a left, you will see a lot of people going towards right. As soon as you go right, you will have darshan of Srimati Radharani. So I thought, I could not understand. I went there, I went, as you said, and as soon as I took the right, what you said, I thought maybe some deities are there, but actually it was Radha Kund. So the local Brajvasis, they call Radha Kund as Radharani. She's not different. She's not different. Radha Kund, I don't know how many of you have been to Radha Kund. She's not different. They consider Radha Kund as Srimati Radharani only, because Radha and Krishna bathed there. And there's a very beautiful pastime. And the pastime goes like this, that Krishna, he actually killed. Whom did Krishna kill? Anyone knows?
Arishtasur.
Arishtasur. And Arishtasur was a bull, Gauvamsha. So when Krishna killed Arishtasur, and Srimati Radharani, Lalita Sakhi, Vishaka Sakhi, they always see Radha and Krishna. Srimati Radharani always needed a reason to fight with Krishna. And Krishna would enjoy Radharani seeing her angry. He just used to enjoy seeing her angry, That is Radha Krishna Rasa. This is not the material rasa, this is a spiritual rasa. So Radharani, she ganged up with the gopis, and she said that, look, this fellow is already useless fellow, and we all are fed up of him for his stealing business. And now he has crossed all his limits, and he has killed a bull. He's killed a bull. And at least we would think that, okay, if he's a thief, still he comes from a good family, still we can associate with him. Now, after killing this bull, what is the scope for associating with this fellow? And then there was a big argument, and Krishna was looking, and Krishna got angry, his face went red. He said, what is this? This was not a bull, this was a demon. And you're telling me that, I killed a bull? He was a demon. He said, no. So what, it was a demon? It was a bull. Killing a bull as a demon or as an animal, it is sin. So therefore, Krishna, if you really want to associate with us, if you really want to be with us, Radharani with all the gopis had some meeting. After the meeting, she gave suggestion. She gave suggestion and option. She said that, Krishna, I would suggest you that you go to all the holy rivers which are present in this world, and you take a dip in all the holy rivers. Once you take the dip in all the holy rivers, actually you will get free of the sin of killing the bull. And then you are welcome to associate with us in Vrindavan. That is what Srimati Radharani with the gopis discussed. And Krishna was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't need to do that. And Krishna was like completely arrogant and Radharani at one point just gave it up. I said, look, we have no hopes with you, and it's your choice. And she just moved away. Then Krishna said, okay, I am not going anywhere. I will make sure all the holy rivers, they manifest here. With his flute, Krishna, and with his friends, he made a pond, and we call it Kunda. And then it is said that Krishna played his flute, and actually he invited all the holy rivers in this creation. And each river is like everyone has a personification. Like we hear in Krishna book that Bhumi, earth, took the form of a cow, and she went to meet Krishna. She went to pray Brahma, and then Brahma took her to Lord Vishnu. So in a similar way, all the holy rivers, they manifested. They manifested in their, in their form, because holy rivers are actually all feminine. They're all women, females. So they all manifested. And they washed the feet of Krishna with their water, and they entered into the kund which Krishna made, one by one, all. And Srimati Radharani externally was making face angrily, but internally she was so proud of Krishna. She was so happy, This is how Leelas are. These are all pastimes. And they have external reasons, they have internal reasons, there are deeper tattva with the acharyas explain us. Like, in the Damodar Leela, it is said that, that Yashoda Maya, when she was tying Krishna, and she was short of two fingers, right? Two fingers. So one of our acharyas, they explain that the two fingers is, we have to endeavor, we have to work hard in our devotional life. And second finger short is Krishna's mercy. So to progress in spiritual life, we need two things. We have to have our endeavor and then Krishna's mercy. We need both. Then we will progress. Of course, another Acharya, he explains that Srimati Yashoda Devi, she actually took all the ropes of the house and she joined them. And again, it was too short. And then she went to the neighbors, got the ropes. Again, she binded Krishna on the mortar. Again, it was 2 fingers short. Then finally, one Acharya, he explained that while borrowing the ropes, it went to the house of the place where Srimati Radharani used to say. And when Radharani's hairband rope came, and when Mother Yashoda tied that, and then Krishna was bound on the grinding mortar. So what I was trying to explain was there are very deeper reasons. So Srimati Radharani was very angry, seeing that, what is this, it's getting river, but in no time, the kund was filled with all the holy rivers, personally manifesting, and then filling the whole pond which Krishna made with water. Once that happened, Krishna, with raising his eyebrow, like this, raising his eyebrow, looked at Radharani. So what do you say now? Done. I'm not going anywhere. All the water's there. So what do you say now? And Radharani angrily looked up, But then Krishna with Subala, Arjun Sakha, Madhumangal, all his friends, and then he raised his voice and said, look, today, a very great sinner has been ripped open. And we have identified one of the most sinner who can invite all inauspiciousness in Vrindavan is found. And here is she, Radhe. Why she's the most biggest sinner? Because she took the side of a demon. All inauspiciousness is attracted by such a personality. And she has incurred a great sin by being on the side of a demon like Aristasura. And all the Gopas, they started shouting, sinner, 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 inauspicious to Srimati Radharani. And all the Sakhis, they got very angry. And then Krishna, with his flute in his hand like this, because he was proud with the flute, he digged the well. And he said, look, maybe I can give her one chance. He looked at all his friends. He said that I can give opportunity to Radhe and all her friends, that if they take bath in my kund mercifully and pay obeisances to me, they'll be free of all them. And then he said, forget it, not in this lifetime, she said. Not in this lifetime. Forget it, she said. Just forget it. And then she said, we will make our own kund. We will make our own kund. Srimati Radharani, she removed her bangle. Radha Kund, actually, if you Narottam Prabhu can share the photo, there is a Kangan Kund. The current Kund was later expanded. But the original Kund is within that Kund. And that is called Kangan Kund. Srimati Radharani removed her bangle, and all the gopis removed the bangle, and they dig the Kund with the bangle. And then Krishna was standing there with all his friends on his kund and putting hand on his shoulder, putting the hand on his friend and looking. Kund to ban gaya, pani kidhar se aayega? Then Radharani, if you have been to Govardhan, right from Govardhan, if you've been to Radha Kund, from Radha Kund 200 meters is Kusum Sarovar. Kusum Sarovar. And from Kusum Sarovar, all the gopis, thousands of gopis, they actually were taking pots and taking water from the Kusum Sarovar and bringing it to Radhakund, and that became a very, 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 very tedious affair for them. And then Radharani was very tired, sweating, and Krishna felt very compassionate. And then finally, Krishna made a pathway from Shamkund. He made a tunnel from where the water of this is Kangan Kund, beautiful. So sometimes the Brajvasis, local Goswamis, they clean Radhakund and they transfer all the water to Shamkund, and then that's when it happens once in several years. That's when you get darshan of actually Kangan Kund. You see, this is Radhakund, and within Radhakund there is Kangan Kund. So that's originally made by Srimati Radharani, with her own. Thank you, Narottam Prabhu. Thank you so much. I missed an opportunity. Many of the devotees from the temple went there. So then Krishna made a tunnel, and you can see that today also. If you go to Radhakund, Shamkund, we will be going when we are going for Govardhan Parikrama. So you will see a tunnel below from Shamkund, water coming to Radhakund. And then after Srimati Radharani saw Krishna being so kind, Radharani told Krishna that, Krishna, your kund will become my most favorite kund, and I will come always take bath here. And Krishna said that, Radhe, your kund will become my favorite place, and I will take everyday bath here in your kund. And this will be the most auspicious place in the whole creation. So that Baulastami, the manifestation of Radhakund, is also actually in the month of Kartik. In the month of Kartik only. Then this is a beautiful pastime which happened. Now in a similar way, there are so many pastimes which happen in the month of Kartik. We all know Deepavali is also one of the festivals, and that's also very, very special. That is also very, very special. And we have one more Radhe here who's talking to me. So we all know what is Diwali. Diwali, it is said that when Lord Ramachandra left Ayodhya, the residents of Ayodhya loved Lord Ramachandra so much. One pastimes of Ramayana explains us that when Lord Rama was leaving from Ayodhya, all the residents of Ayodhya had come out. Elder, children, women, men, all of them have come out, and they were crying to see Lord Rama and Mother Sita and Lakshman leaving. Many of them were stopping the path. They were sleeping in front of the cart, and Lord Rama preached to them, and they had to give space. But then it is said that they are men, and they told them that, please, you make sure you go with Lord Rama, and for a few days or some little far away, and you bring Lord Ramachandra back. Don't allow him to leave Ayodhya. Don't allow him to leave Ayodhya. And if you cannot bring him, you don't come. You don't come all back home. They told like this to their own husbands, to their own fathers, to own young men, young brothers in the house. If you cannot bring Lord Rama, you don't come back. Of course, further in Ramayana, if you read, when Bharat actually comes back to Ayodhya, he sees the situation of Ayodhya. There in Ramayana, it is mentioned that Ayodhya had become a dark place. Nobody was putting lamps in their house in the night, outside the house, and people were living in Ayodhya. In Ramayana, it is written, but like dead bodies. People were living in Ayodhya, but like dead bodies. Like dead bodies. So that was the situation of Ayodhya after Lord Ramachandra left. And Deepavali, which comes in the month of Kartik, when Lord Rama came back, it is said when Rama is coming back, now from the material point of view, it's very difficult for us. We only know that people are dead only when they have some oxygen pipe, they're breathing, When they die, they're dead, their life is gone. Our understanding is like, as soon as we think about dead, we'll think some hospital now. From the spiritual point of view, it's different. They were living, but they were dead. I don't know how to explain that. But they were living and they were dead. But when they heard Lord Rama is coming, the whole Ayodhya. Of course, if you hear in Ramayana, it is said sandalwood perfume and rose perfume was used to clean the roads of Ayodhya for Lord Rama to come. I don't know how to explain that. How will you imagine it also mentally? There were elephants who were carrying drums of perfume and cleaning the road with this kind of perfume. You can imagine this opulence in the Vedic life. And the whole Ayodhya was lit up. The whole Ayodhya was lit up with lamps to welcome Lord Rama. And it is said it was not only welcoming Lord Rama, it was bringing life back to Ayodhya. It was bringing life back into the heart of devotees. That's how Vaishnavas, that's how Srila Prabhupada's teaching, teaches us to how to celebrate, how to understand the essence of Diwali. And then after a few days of Diwali is Govardhan Puja. Now, Govardhan Puja is a very, very special festival. Because one very significant thing about the Govardhan Puja, long back I heard in the class of Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj, he mentioned that Krishna has various rasas. He enjoys various rasas with his devotees. Of course, the pastime goes like this, that, of course, this pastime also teaches that how dangerous name, fame, opulence, money, and beauty is. It makes you forget about your position. It makes you forget about that we are eternal servant of Krishna. It makes us feel that we are only God. We are only controller. We can see that in the material world when we come across some rich people. They are so puffed up. Of course, when you meet him once in a while, or you meet him on a stage, garlanding them once in a day, once in a year for 1 minute on an opening of a shop or a mall, that's different. But when you've seen personally, you see people are so puffed up, they think that they're controller. They're controllers. So Indra, he was the king of the demigods. And he thought that he felt that he's a controller. He becomes so puffed up. And then when the pastime goes that Krishna actually wanted to teach a lesson to Indra, because Indra is also devotee of the Lord. So Nanda Baba and all the Brajvasis, elderly Brajvasis, they were all preparing for a yajna. So Krishna came there and asked Nanda Baba, Baba, what are you doing, Baba? It's all there in the Krishna book, very detailed. Baba, what are you doing? What is this happening? And of course, it's a very beautiful pastime, because when Krishna asked, because Krishna was a very talkative boy, very, very talkative. So Krishna asked, Baba, what is happening? Why this yajna is, what is this arrangement going on? What is this preparation going on? So much of sweets are being made, so much of groceries is being, so much of rice is being. Can you tell me what is it about? What is it, Baba? What is it about? So Nanda Baba was so busy that he didn't give very much attention to Krishna. Because he knew that Krishna, if I ask one question, Krishna will ask me 3 questions out of my 1 answer. So Nanda Baba knew that, and he was very busy, so he didn't want to get into it. So he neglected Krishna. So then Krishna book Prabhupada writes there. Then Krishna spoke very nice philosophy to Nanda Baba. He said that a king or an elder member of the society, it is his duty that he should be equal to everyone, even a less learned, even a younger member of the society should be given his position, his dignity, and respected. That is a duty, and that is a model which elders should set. Insulting a younger generation will create a depression in their mind, and they will go with that depression, and that will create not a very good generation which will come up. So when Nanda Baba, Krishna started preaching this philosophy, when Nanda Baba got, Arey Baba, I will now get into another mess, So then he said, actually, we are doing this yajna to thank Indra. Then Krishna said, why thanking Indra? He said, we got rain. Anyways, Krishna, Indra's duty is to give rain. He has to give rain. Why you want to thank Indra for doing his duty? That way we will have to thank everyone throughout the day. Everyone is doing their duty. So the Krishna got into that conflict. And then it is said that Krishna is so enchanting his beauty. When Krishna speaks, actually he just takes over a person's life. He takes over a person's mind. Like, like uh, uh, when the gopis had come to, when the gopis, they came to Mother Yashoda and complained that Krishna comes and steals our butter, and we try to keep it in a very dark place, but Krishna comes into that room and the light becomes light, because somehow there is some beautiful effulgence coming from Krishna's body, which reflects on his own jewelry, and the jewelry reflects on another jewelry and diamonds and pearls, and they all become like hundred and thousands of suns in the one room wherever Krishna enters. So then Mother Yashoda said, don't worry, I will remove all jewelry of Krishna. All jewelry of Krishna. And then the gopis contemplated that, oh, then henceforward we will see our Krishna. We will meet him, but he will be without jewelry. And they contemplated without jewelry how Krishna will look like. And they become so sad, tears started coming from their eyes. And they told Mother Yashoda, just forget about our complaint and don't do anything to Krishna and do the Shingar the way do. Then they left. So Krishna is so enchanting. Just thinking about Krishna, it is intoxicating that one just flows, overly flows. So when Krishna spoke to Nanda Baba like this and preached to him that there is no need, if you really want to do something, you should actually glorify Govardhan. Govardhan is the real person to be worshipped. All the rivers are flowing around Govardhan. Those days, even Yamuna used to flow around. There are so many water reservoirs. We are Brajavasis. We are actually, Gwala, what they call?
Cowherd.
Cowherd, yeah, cowherd. Thank you. We are cowherd men. We are Gwalas. And we depend on cows and bulls and calves. And it's Govardhan which gives them fresh grass. When they are thirsty, it gives them waters. The cows, they eat fresh grass full of minerals at Govardhan. So our object of worship is Govardhan. So Nanda Baba said that, okay, Krishna, we will do Indra Yagya and we will also do Govardhan Yagya and Puja for Govardhan. So don't worry, we'll do it next week. Krishna said, why next week? And why we don't need to do worship to Indra at all. We should actually worship only Govardhan. I mean, Krishna emphasized. As I said, the gopis just would be surrendered in a similar way. Nanda Baba just could not say anything. He just said, yes, Krishna is right. Nanda Baba said, and all the gopas were stunned. They said, yes, Nanda Baba, Krishna is right. Yes. So what? We will do Govardhan Puja. And Krishna said, when? We will do now with this same preparation which is for Indra Yagya. We will take all this preparation and we will perform a great Govardhan Yagya. And then we all know the beautiful pastime in detail, how Krishna, and then Krishna instructed how to do Yagya, Govardhan Puja, said that make mountains of sweet rice. Make big ponds of sweet rice, mountains of jalebis, mountains of laddus, mountains of rice, and various preparations. So, and this is one of the biggest festival in Vrindavan. Actually, in 2003, no, in the year 2000, I had gone to Vrindavan. One of the first times with devotees, that transformed my life. So, on Govardhan Puja, I actually went to a local, I have one local Brajvasi friend. I went to his house. It's called Annakut Festival in Vrindavan on Govardhan Puja Day. That is the day all the residents of Vrindavan, they do Govardhan Puja and various preparations are made and they are decorated like mountain. And on that day, nobody goes hungry in whole Vrindavan. Not only hungry, every resident and pilgrims of Vrindavan should have a feast. That is a culture in Vrindavan. So Krishna said that take all this preparation, perform a yagya, and then offer this whole preparation to Giriraj. So as Krishna said, Nanda Baba did that, and to their surprise, Krishna said, Govardhan, please accept the offering of this Brajvasis. And on the top of the Govardhan hill, Lord Giriraj, he manifested. And with many hands, he started eating all the preparation. And everyone is seeing that Giriraj is eating the preparations. And then when it was done, then he started shouting, Anior, Anior, I want more, I want more. And more preparation was brought. There is a village with the name Anior in Govardhan Parikram. When you go this time, you see that. So after this whole, of course, then Krishna said that, we should do Sankirtan, we should do Kirtan, and with Kirtan, we should circumambulate Govardhan, Giriraj, Govardhan. And in that way, our lives will be perfect. And today also that happens. Everyone who goes to Vrindavan, he actually does Govardhan Parikram. But the best part with our Acharya, there's a lot of big pastime actually. I'm just cutting it short. There's so much dialogues between the Brajvasis, Krishna, Nanda Baba. But I'm just cutting it short because time, we have a limit. So then Indra gets angry. Indra gets angry. And we must have seen in this Krishna cartoon, little Krishna, that Indra is in the Indraloka. So what happened? My yajnas are fulfilled. People in the earth are happy now. Like that details, And then all the clouds, they come and say that, though we gave the rain, but this little boy Krishna, he preached to the villagers. They didn't give the offer to you. They actually offered even to Giriraj. And Indra got angry. He said, this foolish village people, how can they believe this notorious over-speaking boy? See, there Prabhupada writes that this material opulence, it covers our eyes, it covers our intelligence. We just forget that we are servants. We just forget that we are actually just soul. We are not this body. We think we are this body and we are going to permanent. See, in this material world now, people make plans as if they are going to live here permanently. They will never die. And old people also think that they are not old actually. They're not old. Like, if someone dies at 52, he was so young, they say nowadays, He was so young. 70%, 50, more than 50% life is gone. If someone dies in 50 and also, so early, like that they talk, nowadays. People who are materially blind, spiritually blind and materially overly possessive, they become blind. They cannot see spiritual truth. So Indra was actually so possessive. So he said that, this overly talkative boy, how can these villagers? And as you all know, the pastime goes that Samartaka cloud, he goes and pours rains and rains, and Krishna actually, then, of course, there is so much narration. The Brajvasis, they come and they say that Indra has become angry because we have listened to Krishna. And then Srimati Radharani and Mother Yashoda says, no, Krishna can never be wrong. If we have followed Krishna, we can never be in trouble. And then within the middle of this debate, Krishna actually lifts the Giriraj. Krishna lifts Giriraj and tells everyone, Giriraj will never let us down. Please come. This pastime also happens in the month of Kartik. Of course, one very special thing which I heard about this pastime, Krishna enjoys primarily 5 rasas. Madhurya, with Srimati Radharani. Sakhya, with the Gopas of Vrindavan. Vatsalya, with Mother Yashoda, Nanda Baba, and all the elderly residents of Vrindavan. Dasya, with actually the servants who were living in Nanda Bhavan. And Shantya, with the trees and cows of Vrindavan. These are different exchanges, rasas. Krishna, like, the cows, they're feeding their calves. They're feeding their calves. But when Krishna passes by, they look at Krishna and they stop their milk. And they smile at Krishna and they desire that, when will I have the opportunity to feed my own milk to Krishna? So there's so much they love Krishna. And Krishna also looks at them and there is a rasa exchange between, this contemplation has such rasa. So in this way, Krishna enjoys all these rasas. But Govardhan pastime, because with Srimati Radharani and the gopis, it's in the night. With Nanda Baba, it's in the house. With Sakhya, with the friends while playing or in the jungle. Right? All these rasas have different time. But it is said Govardhan Leela is a pastime, a unique pastime that Krishna enjoyed all these rasas. All these rasas together. There's a very beautiful painting one Russian devotee has made that Krishna is lifting Govardhan. Nanda Baba is looking at Krishna, and Mother Yashoda is looking at Krishna, and so much of love. And then the Gopas, his friends, are looking at Krishna. Cows are looking at Krishna. Srimati Radha and the Gopis are looking at Krishna. All the five rasas were enjoyed while lifting Govardhan in the Govardhan pastime. That has never happened outside Giriraj, outside this Govardhan Leela ever again. So that is why this Govardhan Leela, it's actually a very, very special Leela. Very, very special Leela. So this also happened in the month of Kartik. This also happened in the month of Kartik. And then, of course, one of the very special thing for all of us is that we all also have the special mercy of Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi in Vrindavan. It is said that an Acharya, after he physically departs, he lives in three places. Three places after he physically departs. One is the place of his birth, where he manifested. Second is his teachings. Whatever teachings he gives, anyone who follows this teaching, he will feel the presence of the Acharya. And the third is the Samadhi, where his divine transcendental body. If you have seen the video of Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi, you can see that Prabhupada's body is taken down, and because they put salt around the body, divine body of an Acharya when he leaves his body, so that no material, insects or anything can come and eat or contaminate it. Because it is divine, it melts there, and the Acharya, in his form of his teachings, blessings, and mercy, he resides there eternally. So Srila Prabhupada, in the month of Kartik, took Samadhi in Krishna Balram Mandir in Vrindavan. That is the most important thing for all of us. And for me, I can share one very beautiful pastime, which I heard and I got fixed in my spiritual life. I would say that was a turning point of my life. In 2000 here, I was passing by the courtyard of Krishna Balram Mandir, and there were a lot of foreigners sitting, and there was some discussion going on. And while I was passing by, I heard one lady crying. I heard one lady crying, and my attention went there, and I heard why is she crying? What is she speaking? So when I heard that, so she was narrating that Srila Prabhupada was so compassionate and so merciful that in the very old age he had come to Vrindavan. What he had supposed to do was to just stay in Vrindavan, leave his body, and go back home, back to spiritual world. But at a very ripe old age of 72, where all the acharyas come to Vrindavan to leave their body, he left Vrindavan to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and fulfill the mission of Lord Chaitanya and instruction of his spiritual master, and when preached in the Western world. He said, we were living like animals, malicious in the Western world. This was an American Mataji, she was telling. She said, and she was the lady, I don't remember her name, but Srila Prabhupada actually, when he visited India, after he started ISKCON, inaugurated the Sankirtan movement in America, when he visited to India, while coming back from India, he bought few saris with him. He bought few saris for his female disciples. So when he gave the sari to them, they didn't know what to do with the sari. They didn't know what to do with the sari. So this Mataji was crying and telling, Srila Prabhupada, a sannyasi, on his sannyas dress, he wore a sari to show us how to wear sari. And she was crying, telling this, that how he changed our life by doing this, by extending himself, coming out, preaching. So Srila Prabhupada had a very great desire. The preaching of Krishna consciousness should happen on the foundation of actually on the foundation of Vedic culture. Holy name, Srila Prabhupada introduced two things to the Western world. One was actually like this innumerable pastimes I heard next 3 days. And then after that, I purchased Prabhupada's biography book and I completed that book and I joined the temple. There was nothing left in outside world for me after reading Prabhupada's pastimes. So anyway, Srila Prabhupada actually gifted us this special mercy in the form of his movement ISKCON. It can be any corner of the world just by hearing Srila Prabhupada's philosophy, his presentation of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. We all get attracted to Krishna. So in this way, as I was mentioning, two things Srila Prabhupada gave: holy name and Vedic culture. Holy name and the Vedic culture, men wearing dhoti kurta, women wearing sari, following the traditional culture. He said our attire and our appearance has a very great impact on our consciousness. So I was, recollecting all these things. And I was just thinking that how beautiful it is to come in contact with Srila Prabhupada. So merciful. And I was reading this, of course, I was planning to speak actually about the Damodar Leela. In the Damodar Leela, we are out of time now, but I will just tell one very nice part of the Damodar Leela which I came across today while I was reading. We all know that Krishna was, Mother Yashoda, actually the maids were busy with some other work and some were absent. So Mother Yashoda herself was churning the curd to make butter for Krishna. So while churning, Mother Yashoda herself was remembering Krishna. And while remembering Krishna, it is said the milk started flowing from her breast. She was just singing pastimes of Krishna after that. And suddenly Krishna came and he started pulling Mother Yashoda for her milk. And he was pulling so strongly that he was trying to remind Mother Yashoda that making the butter for him is not so important than feeding him when he's hungry right now. So we all know how Mother Yashoda fed him, but by that time she remembered that she had kept the milk there for Krishna. She leaves Krishna. Krishna feels very offended. Are she's feeding me. How can she leave me? He goes inside and breaks the pots, and we all know how Krishna was tied to the grinding mortar, Ukal. And then he sees two Arjuna trees. And then he goes, then pulls, he first hooks the mortar in between the two trees and he pulls them. And Nala and Kuvera come out. And then there are prayers by Nala and Kuvera that our life has become perfect just by seeing you and this. And there are so many prayers. In that prayers, after the prayers, Krishna actually speaks to Nala Kuvera. And while speaking to him, one statement, which is then in Krishna book, I was very shaken. Because Narada Muni, when he sees Nala Kuvera and Manigriv intoxicated, not having clothes, taking bath and having illicit sex with the Apsaras, when Narada Muni saw that, he felt very compassionate. So that is one of the greatest quality of a sadhu, that when he sees the people in the material world suffering, he feels compassionate. And then externally he chastised them and cursed, but internally he actually wanted to show mercy on Nala Kuvera and Manigriv. So he cursed them to become a tree so that they become humble, but in Nanda Bhavan, in Gokul, in Nanda Bhavan. And then they get to see Krishna. But after they meet Krishna, Krishna tells something to them. He says to Nala Kuvera and Manigriv, if someone is able by chance to see face to face a great saintly person like Narada, who is always serene and merciful to everyone, then immediately the conditioned soul becomes liberated. Now, this is so beautiful to hear, read also. That Narada Muni is cursing Narada Kuvera and Manigriv, so that they get mercy of Krishna. Krishna, after being merciful, telling that your good fortune is that you saw my devotee face to face, who's a preacher, who's traveling. This is so beautiful, to read that Krishna, Narada Muni, a devotee, is compassionate to the living entities, to the conditioned soul, to the suffering living entity, and curses them with a blessing. After the blessing is fulfilled, Krishna is telling, the good fortune for you is that you saw Narada actually. Narada is giving blessing to Sri Krishna, and Krishna is telling your fortune what you saw Narada. So in this way, Krishna has made the preacher's life so important to go out. Every devotee here with tilak is so important. When we go out just with tilak also, we remind people about Krishna. So it is very important that we take advantage of this auspicious month of Kartik. And there are many things which our acharyas, and especially in ISKCON, Damodar Mass is famous for offering the lamp to Krishna. The Lord, the deities, chanting extra rounds. Those who actually throughout the year are not able to practice Krishna consciousness due to their different reasons, should actually do Vrata, Kartik Vrata, should take up some austerity in the month of Kartik to progress in spiritual life. Offer worship to Tulsi, do Kirtan every day, give donation, serve the deities, read Bhagavad Gita, or any book of Srila Prabhupada, complete all small books of Srila Prabhupada. Please rise early in the Brahma Muhurta time, take bath and, chant your rounds in the morning in the Kartik month. See, these are all the benefits we all can take. There are many mentioned in the scriptures, but Srila Prabhupada's teachings actually guides us towards these austerities and make our human life perfect. So this was my understanding about the glories of the Kartik month, which I shared with my limited realization, and whatever I learned from my seniors. Thank you very much for patiently hearing. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Shri Kartik Maas ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you very much for your talk on so many
Thank you very
signs
much,
of
Prabhuji.
Kartik.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Would you like to take some questions?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, are you there?
I'm there. Actually, I was mute, I think. We can take questions if some questions are there.
Yeah. So if anyone has any questions, you can unmute yourself right now and you can ask Sitaram Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead. I cannot hear. I think someone was asking a question or
You're not audible. You unmute yourself properly, whoever was asking a question. Otherwise, you can type on the chat box.
I don't know. I'll just check the chat box. There are no questions on the chat box, also. I think it was just by mistake someone's voice was there.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Kartik Mas, I think I am one of the devotee along with my family. We are visiting on 19th, a 10-day tour. So, what all events would be there in this? Because if that's the Kartik month, we want to, really, uh, experience all the mystic what he had just now explained about Vrindavan, Prabhuji.
Can you, I didn't get it. What did you say? Experience the?
Experience the, Vrindavan, the mystic atmosphere of Vrindavan and the 10 days, tour. So what all events would be there
Yeah,
at Vrindavan?
That Narottam Prabhu will be very soon sharing. We have a schedule and we will be sharing that schedule. We will going to different places. We will go to Govardhan, we will go to Radhakund. But all of us have to know that only through the eyes of scriptures you can see Vrindavan, not grossly. Grossly, you will see some mud, some pig, some monkeys, and you'll see some hawkers harassing you for money. But we have to uplift ourselves from all this external consciousness and see Vrindavan through the years, through the association of devotees. Then we will relate Vrindavan. And it happens automatically. I don't even have to say that. When you go with association and austerity, whatever little inconvenience is a pleasure in Vrindavan actually. The mood of taking spiritual nectar should be the goal. And then you will enjoy the schedule. We have visiting Vrindavan, all the places we are visiting. Narottam Prabhu will very soon put the schedule. So if there is no other question, I can share. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
You can see Mother Yashoda, you can see Srimati Radharani with the beautiful eyes looking at Krishna. Then you can see the cows. You can see Nanda Baba on the left in the red turban. Govardhan Leela was like this. All of them were looking at Krishna for 7 days and 7 nights. All right.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your valuable time. And there is one question on the chat box. It is by Tejal Rathod Mataji. She's saying, amongst all auspicious days, according to Krishna, which are considered the most auspicious, and why are they considered auspicious from Krishna's point of view?
Actually, I have not come across Krishna telling which is the most auspicious, but I have come across these statements of Krishna. That if you see his devotee, everything is auspicious in your life. Everything connected to Krishna is auspicious. Every day is auspicious for a devotee. Every moment in association of devotees is auspicious, is what Krishna says. Everything is only auspicious in Krishna consciousness. It's like a sale of Krishna consciousness which never ends if you are in association of devotees. Only auspiciousness is there. This is my personal realization. When I live only in association of devotees, and I feel only auspiciousness in life. And this is Krishna's teaching. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra. So that's how it is. But we need opportunities to glorify. Like in material world, they say, we say, people glorify. And then we say, ye Pekuram hai, And because people enjoy that glorifying, and there is a pleasure in boosting yourself more than what you are. Isn't it? That is auspicious. But for us, auspiciousness is glorifying Krishna, living in Krishna consciousness. So it's like that. But at the same time, the significant months, the significant moments like Janmashtami, Radhashtami, Kartik month, they have special mercy. They are like you do less and you get more. It's like a sale. In a sale, 40% discount, 60% discount. No? Amazon is like people go crazy, they choose. What is available between 30 to 40% discount. And that option is there in Amazon, you've seen. You can choose the option of sale, no? In Amazon. In a similar way, there is more special mercy on this all these auspicious days and moment, and of all of them, actually Kartik is considered very, very special because so many pastimes they happen in Kartik, and that also in Vrindavan Dham. It's considered one of the most auspicious. It's like a month of auspiciousness. Other time is Janmashtami, Radhashtami, other days. So to tell one day or one moment is, it's like 1 + 1 is 2. But in the spiritual world, the calculation is a little different. In spiritual world, it's like 1 and 1 is 11. I'm just speculating, I'm sorry, I don't mean this. But the calculation is different. The way we calculate and understand things is in the spiritual realm, it's not like that. To give an accurate answer of an auspicious day. But as I mentioned, that all these moments, they create an auspicious moment for us to take advantage to progress in spiritual life. Krishna's point of view is that you associate with his devotee. Hare Krishna. I hope that is the best way I understood about the most auspicious day. Hare Krishna. Narottam Prabhu can comment on this also.
No, Prabhuji, thank you. So we want these who are to take lessons from this talk and come to Vrindavan with the right mood of service and the attitude of wanting to progress in spiritual life. And those who are not yet planned to come, maybe this talk can inspire you to come. Even if you can come for a few days, that would be very nice. Sitaram, Prabhu, you can all unmute yourselves now and we can chant one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our gratitude.
For my progress in spiritual life.
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Krishna,
much,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Hare.
Dandavat
Thank
pranam.
you very much, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you very much,
Always necessary to hear you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Dandavat
Jai
pranam.
Shri Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.